Oh, am I reading the questions
Yes, mate.
myself?
Yeah.
Okay. Matt Gills, 84, wants to know, what's the biggest and most embarrassing gaffe you've ever made at any point in my career? Well, Matt Gills, 84, the biggest gaffe I would say in my career was when I come to Gillingham, because I heard through other players that Charlie Lee was the banter king. I believed it, so that is my biggest gaffe, because Charlie Lee is not the banter king. That was embarrassing to me, and over my career, that's the most embarrassing gaffe I've made. Nick the Greek, 81, asks, who's the biggest win for the club? Well, I've got my programme here, so I can just look through the names, but I don't need it for this question, because the biggest win for the club is, without a doubt, Chris Welpy Whelpdale. And that's it, there's nothing more to be said. He is the biggest wimp. At GFC, Blue Blood asks, as I am the prettiest, me, not them, are the prettiest man in the squad, who is the ugliest? Well, firstly, I'm not having I'm the prettiest. I do try and do my hair, but I think that the ugliest would definitely have to be, once again looking at my programme, Matt Fish. He spends so long in the mirror, so long getting ready, you've got to think he would look better than he does, but he doesn't, so definitely Matt Fish. And to Matt Fish, you're up to do this at some point throughout the season, bring it. Rod Tidwell, 88, do you think you could save a Kedwell penalty? 100% I could save a Kedwell penalty, but the net would then have to save me, because I'd probably be in the goal with the ball. That's all I got to say. Simon E. Robinson. Stuart, I can't even read. You're having a stonking season so far. Thanks, Simon. How would you act out Billy Elliot if you were playing charades? Charades? I've never played charades. That's the one when you have to, like, do it, right? How would I act out Billy Elliot? Firstly, I probably wouldn't play charades, but if I did, I'd just have to go like, woo, like this, woo, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. That goes back to, going back to Matt Gills, 84, what's the biggest and most embarrassing gaffe you made at any point in your career? Doing that last question. That was embarrassing, and probably a gaffe, and I will pay for it. Okay, I'm moving on. Gills JH, how long does it take to do my hair? Well, it's funny you should ask that, because I've just got back from getting my hair cut. How does it look? Sharp? Alright, doesn't it? It's not fully done, it's been trimmed up, all ready for Saturday, for the Gillingham faithful. So I've been to Maidstone to get it trimmed up, half an hour, got it cut, half an hour, come back half an hour. So today it's took me an hour and a half. Does that answer your question? Dom GFC Ballard, who do I room with away games? I room with George Howard. I wish I didn't, because firstly he's incredibly boring, and secondly he snores. So sometimes if you see me on an away game yawning, it's because I've been up all night listening to him snore, and even his snoring is boring. The next question, Charlie Lee, 06. I don't know why he's 06, because he's not 6. But anyway, who in the best car school ever, well, I know what he's talking about because I was in the best car school ever, the start of last season. Who is my favourite and my least favourite? Right, so in the best car school ever was myself, Charlie Lee, Joe Martin, Welpy, Chrissy Welpy Whelpdale, and one more, oh yeah, Joe Carter, who on the programme hasn't got a squad number. Any chance, Martin? Just to give him a little mention, because he's not had one, but he is top of the non-numbers. Come on, Joe, in the best car school ever, you're the man, get that squad number. But anyway, my favourite has got to be Joe Martin. He brought the best banter. My least favourite is got to be Chrissy Welpy Welpdale. And the reason for that is he's so selfish. He gets in the car and he sits in the front. If he's not driving, I mean, obviously, if he's driving, he's sitting in the front. But if he's not driving, he sits in the front. If it's my car, he sat in the front. If it was Charlie Lee's car, he sat in the front. And if it was Joe Martin's car, he sat in the front. But then obviously when Joe Carter, he sat in the front for that one as well. And then when we used to stop on after a tough pre-season day, we sometimes stop at the garage on the way home and get a few snacks. And Welp's never paid. He's so tight. You don't ask him for anything because you won't get anything. But he was happy to put in the odd Mars bar into everyone else's basket. So my least favourite would be Chris Welpy Welpdale. And Charlie Lee 06, I hope that answers your question. But it was, without a doubt, the best car school ever. On to the next one. Tomo GFC. Since I have been at the Gills, what's the funniest thing you've seen? Without a doubt, there's only one thing that's been the most funniest thing, and I saw it in the flesh. Some people see it on camera. I happen to be lucky enough to see it in the flesh. The manager, let me just paint a picture. I was at the away end, where them fans get cold and wet every game. I was at that end, and I looked at the dugout. The ball must have gone out or something, so I looked over to see if there's any instructions from the dugout. And Martin, who was fortunately for this actual funny thing, or maybe unfortunately for him, was wearing bright red, skin-tight trousers. Chinos, jeans, I don't know what they was, they were tight. Leggings, jeggings, don't know, they were red and they were tight. Well, he came down to give a message to someone, tripped, 4 or 5 steps up, stacked it. To be fair to him, he jumped up. He was obviously hurt. He tried to brush himself. Let me just show you. Let me show you. Let me just wide angle that. It was a bit of a. I'm alright. I'm good. It's hurting. Keep going, boy. Sorry, Martin. That was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I must say, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Whew. Anyway, moving on. B. Bryant's got the last question of the day. Which other Nelson do I admire more, Mandela or Horatio? It's a tough call, because Mr. Mandela done time for the cause and that, and Horatio fought, and now he's got a column in London. Now that's pretty special, because when you drive through Trafalgar Square, you see his column, so he's the man. But Nelson Mandela is also the man. I think I probably admire more Fernando Nelson. He was a professional footballer with Aston Villa when I was growing up. And then when it made all my friends call me Fernando, which I didn't like, because like we spoke about earlier to the guys here, Fernando is, did you say it's an ABBA song? And I hate ABBA, so I feel for him, and that's why I admire him more, because he's had to carry that name his whole life. So Mandela, Horatio, they're all good, but Fernando Nelson is the man.
Yeah, Nelson is the man.
How's that?
Fair
I'm
play,
shaking.